How's it going? I am here doing a pop-up class about sun tea, but I want to make some Blueberry Thyme Sun Tea. Now, it's early here. It's only like, it's 10:14 in the morning. That's not super early, but you know. And I thought, why don't I make a video of this? Because I've never done that. So welcome to my pop-up class. People showing up, waiting for people, you know, to roll in. I'm live on Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's a replay. So anyhow, I wanted to get this going before I head down to work for the day in the apothecary, and I thought, let's show you what I'm doing. So you're gonna need at least a half-gallon jar. I mean, you could do a quart jar if you want to, but I mean, we're gonna be drinking this, so you know, enough in case you enjoy it is fantastic. But if you're not sure, you could do a quart jar. And this is really simple. It's sun tea. But you know, a lot of people will be like, who doesn't know how to make sun tea? Well, thousands and thousands of people have probably never made sun tea. But if you live somewhere where it's really hot, it's a heat wave right now. It's already 100 degrees out where I'm at in Northeast Oregon. Sun tea is a fantastic way to utilize the heat and end up with a pretty cheap drink. I don't use bagged tea. I like to use various green teas, and this is white tea. Now, I like white tea because, and that's the youngest picked leaves of the tea plant, of like green tea, because they've not been fermented, so there's less oxalates. I also like that there's less caffeine, and I like that there's a really light, fragrant, like almost floral flavor, and I feel like that goes really well with fruit. So I am just going to pop about 3 tablespoons of my white tea, I can get my hands to work, into this reusable muslin cloth. You can just put this right in the jar if you want, but it makes straining a little harder. So a reusable bag, a tied up clean tea towel, something like that would work well. This is a 1.5 measure thing that's pretty cool, so I only have to do 2 of these. And now I'm gonna put that out of my way, and I'm gonna add in a small amount of darn near sun-fried from the garden thyme. This is just common thyme. Thyme and blueberry go really well together. You're noticing I'm not using a lot of this. This is because these herbs that are really fragrant, that have a strong smell, have a lot of VOCs in them, and that stands for volatile organic compound. And that means a little goes a very long way. You do not want to overdo it, especially because this will be brewing in heat, and we do not want to over extract and make it a dangerous amount to drink. So a little goes a long way. Plus, if you use too much, it'll be too strong and taste kind of like dirt. Thyme has that like earthy, musty flavor, so you really don't want to overdo it. So I've got my thyme and my green tea in my tea bag here. And I'm just going to give that a tie. But before I do anything else, I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of unrefined sugar. Well, I mean, it's refined. It's cane sugar is what I should say. You can use honey. You can use whatever sweetener you want. Now, the reason I'm picking sugar for this versus honey is I find that honey has its own unique flavor, and I really love honey. But sun teas are very delicate flavor, and sometimes I think that honey washes out the flavor. Right, and so I don't want to really taste honey, so I'm going to use the sugar instead. Now, this is about 1.5 cups, maybe 2 cups of frozen and then rinsed blueberries. Now, you can use fresh fruit if you want, but let me tell you right now, I've been doing this for years, and I find that frozen fruit works better for imparting the flavor of the fruit. And that's because when you freeze your fruit, it busts open the cellular structure. So here's a visual spatial thing. You ever forget that you had like a soda or a pop or whatever you call it in the freezer? What happens? It explodes, right? So the cellular structure of these blueberries, it's like a little can of water inside of every cell. And when it freezes, it busts open that cell. That's why they go mushy after you freeze them. That's why a pop can explodes. That's why things are like limp and sad after you take them out of being frozen. It's breaking down the cellular structure. But that means that it's easier for the hot water that's going to be induced by the sun to extract the flavors and all of those awesome antioxidants and all the other vitamins that are found in blueberries. It also means you'll get a much darker tea, because look at how purple my fingers are already just touching it. Now, I'm just gonna put that right there. I'm not going to let it drop down in. I'm going to grab some water. That was heavier than I thought it was going to be for some reason. And I'm just going to put water in it. Use whatever water you want. We have an artisanal well here, so I've got pretty good tap water going on. But if you feel unsafe using your own tap water, you can use whatever water you want. And I'm going to fill it pretty much to the top because I want to make sure that the tea and the thyme are well submerged. And now you see I didn't let it drop down in there because I want to keep this string out because eventually it'll drop down and it just makes it easier for me to get it out of there. And it already turned pretty dark. It already turned pretty dark because of the frozen blueberries, but it will actually get much darker as it sits in the sun. Now, I'm going to set this on my front porch where the sun beats down like it's trying to kill you from about, I don't know, 10:30 in the morning until like 4:45 at night. Like going out that door is like a fucking holy experience. You open it and you're like, oh, there's no reprieve. We live in high mountain desert, so you can feel the heat coming through the bottom of the door if you don't have like a strip there to prevent that. And so I sit this there, and the other day when I pulled one off and strained it, and I brought it inside to strain it, it was so hot that I was like, hot, 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 and it was steaming like I was pouring boiling water. But that's also why we're not using a whole lot of those volatile herbs, right? Because it's going to get very hot. This is basically like a natural slow cooker for the fruit and the herbs that you've put in here to extract that, right? Now, you can get creative with this. I've done blueberry and basil. I've done raspberry peach. I've done nectarines a couple times. I like to do lime and like strawberry or lemon and strawberry, and then you can add whatever herbs you want. Now, if you're going to use basil or thyme or even rosemary or any fragrant herb that you have around that you know is safe to consume internally, a little goes a long way. You do not want to use a ton of these herbs in here. I'm talking just a few sprigs, and it will be a nice undertone of flavor without being too many of the VOCs dangerously extracted, and it won't be too overbearing. Like if you get, unless you really like basil, like I did a blueberry basil one a few days ago, and I just put one leaf of basil in there, and that was enough to taste it. If you'd done more than that, it would probably be off-putting, right? But you don't have to use frozen fruit. I also find that it's cheaper to use frozen fruit. I like to eat the fresh fruit and then cook with the frozen fruit, right? And even where I'm at, we're in a huge agricultural area. Like, it's easier for me to find frozen organic blueberries at like my discount store than it is for me to buy organic blueberries grown locally. Like, just because there's a ton of produce growing around here doesn't mean that we have organic options all that often, unfortunately. So I like to do that because I can get like a big 5-pound bag for like $4 or $5. It goes a long way, and it's not that expensive to make a half-gallon drink. Now, if you like this, you could make a big gallon batch, right? And it's what we live off of, really, because it's so much cheaper. It's so much cheaper than buying juice. And you've got the green tea for the added antioxidants, for blood sugar control, for stress management. Now, if you don't like green tea, you could use other types of tea. You could use other herbs. You could not put the tea in this at all and just do thyme and blueberry. There are no rules here. You can get creative and find out what you want. It just takes a little bit of time. So again, and that was not intended to be a pun, but it was because there was a little bit of time in there. It takes some time sitting in the sun. So now I'm going to go pop this on my front porch. Find a place where it gets sun for most of the day. You might have to pay attention to your outside surroundings, but if you live somewhere like where you only have like an apartment balcony, see what area of the balcony gets sun the most, and if you don't have any sun going there, see if you can like covert stash it somewhere. See if a neighbor gets sun, well, they'll let you put it somewhere. A window would be okay, but you're really wanting to get the direct sunlight on this to break this down and make it into a tea. So somebody said, does a green tea not taste bitter from brewing so long? No, it doesn't. And that's because you're not using a whole lot. And that's why I like to use white tea. Usually when you get into like the bitterness from green teas, or even black teas, it's because it's been fermented for so long, because it has higher oxalates, but also you're putting too much. I only put about 3 tablespoons per a whole half gallon. So it's very light. If you overdo it, it can be bitter. But I also stick to the white tea because of that. Now you can also do things like oat straw or a little bit of chamomile, rooibos if you want, which is a caffeine-free alternative. You can really get creative here. But remember, when you are using those plants that have the higher scent to them, like chamomile or tulsi or basil or any of this stuff, you don't want to use a whole lot because you do not want to over extract too many of those VOCs. Basically, there's so little amount in comparison to the water that it waters it down, so it can't be too much to do things like hurt your gut or, you know, irritate things like that or repress your immune system or things that are like that scare people when they hear about that. So these plants make these compounds in minuscule amounts, and that means we're naturally supposed to eat them or use them in minuscule amounts. And if you use too much, it's not going to feel great. It also won't taste good. You'll be like, whoa, that's too strong. So anyhow, somebody said they live on a coastal area and we could set it on the hood of our car. Yeah, you probably could, because the metal from the car would help it heat up. If you live somewhere where it's not getting like at least 80 degrees during the day or like in that range, you could try like putting it on like a black surface or something like that. That helps grab the heat more. I'm in high mountain desert, so there'll be a point in time where this jar sitting outside will be too hot to grab. I'll be like, ooh, and like using my dress to be like, ooh. Now, somebody asked how long this is good for. Just like any other food you make, you want to use it up from your fridge in about 3 days. You can freeze it if you want to. You could make it into popsicles or something like that, or ice cubes to add to water, anything like that. And now when you're done, you're going to strain out these blueberries, but you'll just be able to pull out the bag. I mean, I guess you could eat the blueberries if you want to. They're going to be mush from being cooked down, but you know, it won't hurt you to eat them. Although, if you don't take the blueberries out, I'd probably say use it up within 2 days. Right? And somebody asked again how long to brew it. From morning until about the sun goes away. So mine's usually out there from about 10:30 in the morning until about 4:45 when the sun doesn't go down where I'm at, but it stops hitting my direct port. So, you know, I'd say at least 6 hours, right? At least. And you can rotate these. So every morning I do one. I still have some from yesterday, but I'm doing one now. That way tomorrow I'll have some, and tomorrow I'll have some, and tomorrow I'll have some, right? And I'll rotate out through the flavors. Some of them I like better than others. Some of them are experiments, and I'm like, nobody liked the way that one tasted. But I really like, and we all like the blueberry thyme. So this is so easy to do. I mean, how hard was that? You were absolutely smart enough to throw a little bit of tea in a jar, throw in some fruit, a small amount of fragrant herb, and make yourself some pretty affordable sun tea. It's a great way to stay hydrated. There's not a ton of electrolytes in here, but there's a little bit from when you're adding in, like, your fruit usually has a good amount of potassium and some magnesium in it. You know, you've got the antioxidants from the green tea, and it's nice to just have something to drink that doesn't cost you like $10 a gallon from the store. Right, and it's so easy to do. You are so capable of doing this. Just give it a try. Let your human curiosity take over, and soon you'll have like all these sun teas that you like to make and be excited about, and ideas will pop in your head of what flavors would work. So if you like my random pop-up videos, hearing me jabber about sun tea and all that kind of stuff, if you're watching me on Instagram, like you are right now, well, the people that are here with me live, make sure to come find me on YouTube. If you're watching this replay on YouTube, make sure to come find me on Instagram. I share all kinds of information back and forth on different ones. And then if you want to make other people realize that they're smart enough to do this too, that didn't come out smoothly because it's like 10:30 in the morning, make sure that you like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on notifications. All this stuff tells the system to show me to people, and then they learn that they're capable of doing this too, and it helps me get my work out there. And if you want to support my existence and my random ability to do like half asleep early morning tea videos and various other pop-up things, consider following the link in my bio if you're on Instagram to call something home from my shop, and if you're on YouTube, check out the links in my description that help support me that help me the most to support teaching freely. And thank you for allowing me to be a human that makes human errors and stumbles over words and just thinks that shit is funny. So thank you so much for watching, folks, and I hope to see you at the next pop-up class. Bye!